This is her recommendations, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm following this. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Carl Linden.
Pardon me. That's from Bell. Okay. I don't know, man. Tony's been spending time as the chair. He said he responded that not part of the federal component, but an extension won't be a deal breaker. I'm not sure what he means by that. He means for us to extend it won't be, or if it doesn't get extended, won't be.
Don't ask him about that.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm okay with like 20 of them.
I know.
She really is.
The committee will reconvene. We're going to take up a number of actions related to the Department of Developmental Services, beginning with issue number 1 regarding Lanterman Community State Staff Program. The clerk will read.
The motion is to approve the May revision proposal.
Is there a motion?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Thurman?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu? Grove?
Okay, now I apologize. You're going to have to clarify what motion you're on. I was talking to staff.
Number 1.
Thank you. Aye.
Thank you. And Jones?
That item is out. Moving on to issue 2, Lanterman DC post-closure adjustments.
So moved.
Please call the roll.
Staff recommendation is to approve as budgeted. Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu? Grove? Jones?
That motion is out. Issue number 3, Foster Grandparent and Senior Companion Program. The clerk will read.
Staff recommendation is to approve May revision. Thurmond?
Aye. Well, we need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a
I'm
motion?
sorry.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
Aye.
Jones?
That item is out. DC population staffing adjustments. Clerk will read.
The staff recommendation is to approve the May revision.
So moved. Second.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
Aye.
Jones?
That issue is out. Issue 5, Sonoma Developmental Center backfill. Clerk will read.
The staff recommendation is to adopt provisional placeholder budget bill language and approve the May revision.
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
No.
Jones?
3-1, that item is out. Issue 6, staffing adjustment for acute crisis units. The clerk will read.
The staff recommendation is to approve the May revision.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please
Third.
call the roll.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
No. Or excuse me, abstain. I'm not voting.
That item is
And
out.
Jones, yeah.
Issue 7, program improvement plans. The clerk will read. Issue.
The staff recommendation is to approve the May revision.
So moved. Second.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
No.
And Jones?
That issue is out. Issue 8, expansion of the secure treatment program at Porterville, D.C.
We're splitting this one into 2 motions. The first motion for staff recommendation is to approve May revision and adopt supplemental reporting language detailed in the write-up. The second staff recommendation is to approve trailer bill language on delayed egress homes. For the first staff recommendation, approve May revision and adopt SRL.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
Aye.
Jones. For the second part of the proposal for the trailer bill language on delayed egress homes.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond?
Aye.
Bonta?
Aye.
Chu?
Aye.
Grove?
Not voting.
That
Jones.
item is out. Issue 9, employee compensation and staff benefit contribution changes.
The staff recommendation is to approve as budgeted.
Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Absolutely not.
Jones.
3-1. The issue is out.
How much?
Issue 10, Sonoma Creek Pump Station Project. Clerk will read. 10. The motion is to reject the January proposal. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove. Jones.
That motion passes. Issue 11, Statewide Self-Determination Program.
Staff recommendation is to approve the January proposal for new provisional budget bill language.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Aye.
Jones.
That item is out. Issue 12, Headquarters CPP Request.
Staff recommendation is to approve the May revision proposal.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Aye.
Jones.
That issue is out. Issue 13, Capital Outlay Porterville Fire Alarms.
Staff recommendation is to approve as budgeted.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Aye.
Jones.
Issue 14 has to do with the Developmental Center closures plan. As you know, the governor has identified a date for closure. The subcommittee will be working closely with the department to establish and to convene a stakeholder group that will look at issues related to all developmental center closures, and starting first with the Sonoma Developmental Center. The goals of this stakeholder group will be to ensure that all stakeholders and all parties with interest have an opportunity to have their voice heard, starting first and foremost with the consumers served at the developmental centers. That they'll have an opportunity to have their individual program plans direct how and where they would live in the community. The stakeholder group will also invite parents and constituents who live in the areas that the developmental centers are served to be able to give voice about their concerns. They'll have an opportunity for employee groups to participate in the stakeholder process, to generate a timeline and a process to ensure that those who work in the developmental centers will also have the opportunity to work with our consumers in the community. So these stakeholder groups are underway, and these stakeholder groups will work to clarify the ultimate closure dates. The administration has established an intended and target closure date. Those dates may change as needed based on the needs of the people served in those developmental centers. The committee's action today is to specifically what the governor has established in budget and for trailer bill language related to the closures. The clerk will read the motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make an additional motion.
Absolutely. The clerk will read the motion, and then we can have action from the committee, whatever is the pleasure of the committee, to either move the item or if there is a desire for another motion. The clerk will read the motion.
Staff recommendation is to adopt proposed May revision language with additions described in the staff comments as provisional placeholder trailer bill language, and additionally to approve of the CPP resources for the closure of the Sonoma Developmental Center.
Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a subsequent motion on item 14. I would like to add, to the extent possible, and it does not jeopardize the health of Sonoma Developmental Center residents during the closure process, to direct DDS to prioritize the transition of consumers to the community that reside in the ICF units which have been decertified by the federal government because of the abuse in that facility. I would like to try to move those people out first without jeopardizing their health, and I'd like that language adopted.
Is there a second for the motion? Seeing no second, on to the original motion to adopt the May revision language with additions and staff comments as provisional placeholder trailer bill language, and also to adopt the CPP. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a motion and a second? The clerk will call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Aye.
Jones.
The motion passes. The chair recognizes Assemblymember Bonte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On this item, I know that there's been a great deal of conversation and also concern from some of our regional leaders in the legislative delegation from Sonoma County. And I just wanted to just reiterate the importance of the stakeholder process that's been created and spearheaded by our chair as an important and critical part of the process to make sure all voices are heard, including our consumers and patients, our labor members, and others who will provide input regarding the best way to close the developmental center. Absolutely critical that patient safety and care and health is uplifted and prioritized, as well as worker placement and relocation. So I think that the tool and the vehicle for providing that input and driving the process, including potentially changing the deadlines to accommodate these needs and interests to the best ability possible, will be through the stakeholder process. So I just want to thank the chair for putting that together and encourage those who have ongoing concerns and ideas to work through that stakeholder process.
Thank you, Mr. Bonta. The chair recognizes Mr. Chu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to agree with the comments of our colleague from Oakland. I know this has been a difficult conversation, and if we didn't have the stakeholder process, I would probably suggest that we have a longer conversation on what the appropriate date would be, and we've certainly heard loudly and clearly from some of our colleagues from the region that this planned date may need to move forward. That being said, because there is a stakeholder process, I think we all eagerly await the outcome of that process. I think that is the appropriate forum for this discussion, and look forward to that.
Thank you, Mr. Chu. Any comments from Assemblymember Grove?
Yes, I appreciate my colleagues' comments, but I really do think this is one time that we need to put the developmental community ahead of any unions and employee placement. We need to put and prioritize the people with developmental disabilities first and foremost, and let those people who write those checks stand in the back, because the bottom line is that we need to protect the developmental community in the community. And so although I appreciate my colleagues' comments, I have to completely 100% disagree with them that it is time that we all take a stand for the people that are sitting out there in the wheelchairs and that are up in that balcony, because and although you guys don't write checks, and I don't support that either, but the bottom line is that we should care about you and put your priorities first. And I support the Latterman Coalition for the 10% increase.
Thank you, Assemblymember Grove. I'm going to take a little chair's prerogative and have the final word on this issue. I appreciate everyone's interest in this. I do need to make the record very, very clear that this stakeholder group is not about who writes a check and who doesn't write a check, and I resent the statement being made that way. Let's be very clear. This stakeholder group focuses on the most important concept that's ever been developed in the Lanterman Act, and that is that an individual program plan governs where a consumer gets to live and the quality of life that they're going to have. This stakeholder group is driven by that and that only. It is driven by the individual program plan of the consumers who live in developmental centers who want to enjoy a great quality of life. I want to thank the members of this committee for their interest, but I especially want to thank the members of this committee for having the courage to say that we're going to let the individual program plan that drives the consumer's needs and services to say that they can have a great quality of life in the community, doing the things that they enjoy. And that's exactly what this stakeholder group is going to govern and guarantee that will happen. Thank you to the members of the committee for caring about our consumers and our families. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to issue number 15. And this issue is promoting system sustainability. It has to do with rates to support purchases of service and regional center operations. And I'll ask the clerk to read the motion.
The staff recommendation is to approve a rate increase of 5% in 2015-16 beginning January 1, 2016, and an additional 5% for a total of 10% in 2016-17 for purchase of service and operation.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Chair, make a subsequent motion. Subsequent motion on issue 15 is to adopt for 2015-16 budget year, the Latterman Coalition proposal, as outlined in March 4th, 2015 agenda, which includes a 10% increase across the board to regional centers for operations and purchases of services effective July and not waiting for 2 years to have it implemented.
Is there a second to the substitute motion? Seeing none.
I also want to adopt trailer bill
Seeing
language.
none. We have a motion that has a second. There's a motion and a second. Discussion on the motion. Mr. Bonta.
I appreciate the pushback from the subcommittee on the governor's proposal and the commitment we have to fully fulfill the 10% funding and doing that in a way that is realistic and practical and can get done over 2 years. So I support the motion.
Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Thurmond.
Aye.
Bonta.
Aye.
Chu.
Aye.
Grove.
Permission to request the additional language when I was cut off by not allowing the language to be put into the motion.
We have a motion and a second. We're taking a roll call vote on the motion. Member Grove on the motion.
Without the finished completion of the entire motion?
On the motion. We have a motion with a second. It requires action on the motion and the second. Member Grove, what is your pleasure?
Just requesting to finish and complete my motion.
Member Grove,
I'm
on
just
the
requesting
motion.
to complete my motion.
You have the prerogative to vote any way you like on the motion. You made a substitute motion that wasn't seconded. The rules of this House require that the next step is action on the motion. Third time in requesting. Member Grove, what is your pleasure on the motion as stated?
I would like to complete my motion and let the chair hear the complete motion before it's voted on.
Member Grove, you're out of order. If you wish to take an action on the motion as stated, please do so. If you wish to make a different motion, you have to do that after the action has been taken.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. You wish to have other comment? Member Grove.
Absolutely. I wish to adopt trailer bill language that expresses the legislature's intent that the savings achieved from the closure of the developmental centers will be used for new investments in the community.
Is there a second for that motion? For lack of a second, that motion does not carry. The motion carries